is Melanie Frank, and I'm with Liv Sotheby's International Realty in Breckenridge, Colorado. And I am also a master ninja selling instructor for Sotheby's International Realty and a big brand ambassador. And I truly believe that when you take the ninja skills and you all of our tools and you put them with the power of Sotheby's International Realty, we are unstoppable. And so we're just thrilled to have everybody here with us today. I have Kristine Newell with me as well, and she's with William Pitt Sotheby's International Realty, regional sales manager for this company. And she is going to take over now and bring our special guest with us today. So Kristine, why don't you go ahead and introduce our special guest?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Melanie, for a great introduction. I am really grateful today that it is a beautiful day and the sun is shining, and I have the privilege of having the best colleagues in the world here at Sotheby's International Realty, surrounded every day by incredible agents and incredible leaders. And in this moment, I'm just feeling extremely grateful for all of you and very blessed. So today on our Facebook Live, we're really excited to have one of my favorite managers here and leaders within the company, Jim Miller. He's the Executive Vice President and City Managing Broker at Jameson Sotheby's International Realty in Chicago. And Jim oversees two of the firm's largest offices in Lincoln Park and Gold Coast. In 2019, his offices completed over $1.6 billion in real estate and rental transactions, with the city's highest average sales price and highest market share of luxury transactions over $2 million. So Jim knows luxury, and Jim knows the brand for sure. During his tenure as managing broker, Jim has recruited, coached, and developed some of the top agents within the company. And one of the things I love about Jim is that, like me, he started out as an agent and then went into management. And also, like myself and many of us today, survived the financial crisis that a lot of us survived many years ago. So this gives us great perspective in terms of the challenges that we're facing now. Although Jim has not yet gone through an installation, he is very familiar with ninja selling, the book, and all of Larry Kendall's teachings, and he incorporates that in his leadership style. So I admire Jim as a leader and colleague immensely. Had the privilege of meeting him this year in person and have really developed a great friendship. So I am so eager to share Jim love with everyone that also loves Jim like I do. So welcome, Jim.
Thank you, Sotheby's International Realty Ninjas. I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you, Kristine and Melanie, for having me on today. Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, we're very excited, and all of your followers have been flooding our Facebook group to try to get in. So maybe we need to start a fan club. I'll be president. So, okay. But one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, Jim, is because I feel like you're a master in getting into that positive, high energy sector. And I know that a lot of us are struggling, right? We're home. Some of us are wearing yoga pants. Don't do that, people. Put the jeans on or put a nice outfit on. But how can agents shift into that high positive mindset in a time like this?
Well, Kristine, I think what's so important is to keep your mind in the right place right now with everything that we're going through. And yeah, you and I both did survive the financial collapse of 2008, and I had my real estate heart attack in February of 2008, and woke up with tears on my pillow and adrenaline pumping through my veins. A lot of similar anxiety to what I'm feel that people are sensing right now. And I found out through that process of, having to reinvent myself over a period of 5 years, how important the mindset was to continued success. And that part of my journey started in about 2009. And I started telling myself when things were imploding, I had a statement that I would say to myself over and over and over again. And I would say, I am so happy and grateful that money, success and introductions flow to me in ever increasing quantities from a myriad of different sources for the betterment of all those involved. My life is perfect. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. And that was how I self-medicated to get through that crisis, right? Like I wanted to keep my energy level at a certain point, because I knew if I got down here, it was bad, right? So I really, at that point in time, when I saw the benefits of keeping my mind right, I knew I needed to learn more about it and study it. And it's something that is an area that I coach consistently. If you do not start with what's between the ears, you're not going to do any of the things that you learned through ninja selling. You're just not, because you've got to have that mind right, especially right now when there's so much negativity and negative energy out there in the world right now. So I can have said that statement to myself tens of thousands of times, and I'm saying it to myself again more and more than I have maybe this time last year. So energy mindset is where it all starts, and I think so many people don't go there enough.
Yeah, I love that. I know, I think like so many of us in the beginning of all this, there was so much unknown and there's still so much unknown, but I know
Right.
practicing my gratitudes every day. And then I've adjusted my affirmation to be looking for the growth and the opportunity of this moment. And I feel like I'm recognizing that every day. So I love the story you're telling yourself and the words you're using to shift into that, high positive. So let me ask you, share with me some optimism, because we had a talk and you shared your feelings of optimism for the future. And it would be helpful if you might want to share some of that.
Well, again, it comes down to mindset, right? Like if you think that things are hard and it's horrible and you'll never do another deal, then guess what? You're gonna struggle with this. But this time frame that we're all at home and we're sheltering in place, we really need to look at how we look at this time. Nelson Mandela was in a South African prison for 27 years, and Tony Robbins was able to interview him, and Tony asked him the question, Nelson, how did you deal with the suffering during that period of time we're in prison? And this is where mindset comes in. Nelson said, Tony, it wasn't suffering. I spent that time in preparation. I spent that time in preparation, right, for when I got out, because one of two things were going to happen. I was going to die, and my death was going to start a revolution. I was going to come out and lead a country. So his mindset was, I'm not here in prison and I'm dying away. It was he was getting prepared for what was going to be on the other end. So the optimism comes from, what are you doing right now in order to be prepared so that when this is lifted, you can go out and dominate your competition. So that is the difference between having a good mindset or a bad mindset. So my optimism comes from, listen, there's people that are sitting there right now in their homes that are stress testing their current situations, and they're going to come out of this saying, I don't want to live here anymore. Or hopefully they love where they're at, the place that you put them in. Hopefully they love it. But there's going to be we get paid when people transact, right? So as they stress test their home or their relationships, let's be honest, that's happening right now. There will be opportunities out of necessity once this passes. So you got to be looking like, where's the puck going to be, right? Wayne Gretzky said, I don't look where the puck is right now. I look where the puck is going to be. And that's how you need to be looking at your business right now. Not that you got up and the phone wasn't ringing today, or, you can't get out and do showings. You got to look at where is the market going to be when this lifts. And most economists think that this is going to be a V-shaped recovery. Now, again, I am not an economist, but I will tell you that based on all of the money that's getting put into the system right now, there should be opportunities out there to transact when this is over.
Yeah, I think, I'm talking to so many agents right now and feeling like, people have two choices, right? You can, like you said, check out, and certainly Mandela didn't do that, but you could check out and just watch your Netflix and drink your wine and say, okay, I'm shutting down, the world has shut down. And let's face it, there are days that we all kind of want to do that. But what we need to be doing is preparing, right? Preparing for when this is over, so that when it is over, and we know eventually it will be, that we're ready. And like you said, you're ready to dominate. So what pieces of advice could you give agents right now on how they can start preparing for that?
Well, I think first and foremost, pick up your ninja selling book, right? And go back through it and pick 3 of the areas that you think could benefit you the most right now and during this period of time. And let's face it, I think everybody should take some time to drink wine and do Netflix and do all that.
Yes.
You should absolutely take that time, but time block your time so that when you're doing it, you're coming off of a productive period of time before you do that. Tim Grover quoted, and he was Michael Jordan's coach, Kobe Bryant's, personal coach, Dwayne Wade's personal coach. He essentially stated that, that list of things that you need to do, if you don't get it done right now, just admit that you're never, ever going to get it done. Okay. And that's kind of one of those statements when you hear it, you're like, yeah, if I don't get it done during this period of time, it's never going to happen. Right. So pick those 3 things that are high impact, low cost, and, easy to implement. Right. Low cost, easy to implement, right? And high impact, and work on those projects. If your database isn't completely pruned and ready to, help you when you get done with this, then that's an area that you should be focusing on right now. Make sure that's completely pruned and ready to go. And I got to tell you a little bit of where I'm at today. There's so much marketing and email marketing and things like that right now that I think there's so much noise. Would you guys agree that there's so much noise out there right now with marketing to COVID-19? I think we're almost at a point there where we need to kind of back off that a little bit and focus on your database, but have a very thoughtful approach to your, communication with your database right now. It should not really be focused too much on transacting, but just letting them know that you're there. Now, I think the new virtual handwritten note, which of course is a big part of ninja selling, the short video, fully customized towards that client. Do 45 seconds to a minute, maybe even less, and send it off to them. You could do 5 to 10 of those a day in an hour and a half, and it will rock their world. Trust me. That's the new virtual handwritten note, because some people aren't even going out to check their mail, right? So do those little stints of video. So I think that's something you do right now, your database, and get heavy and deep into meditation. I've added a second meditation to my day at night. Anxiety that I'm feeling just because people don't call me, Kristine, right, when things are great. As managers, we're getting the 911 emergency calls right now. So I found that I got home at night and I was wiped out and was not sleeping well. So I added a 20-minute meditation at the end of the day. So mindset, database, and soft touch communication with your clients right now. And then underneath that, make sure that all your systems and processes are fully optimized and ready to go once we get to back to transacting.
Yeah, I love that. And
Sorry.
No, I love that. That's excellent. I mean, I'll just add in that with some of my millennial agents, I've always told them if they wanted to go on Facebook and message people, instead of sending a handwritten note, not that handwritten notes aren't important, but some of them have very young friends. So I would agree with the video thing is cool. And then also you can spend some time on Facebook because everyone's online right now. Everyone is
Yes.
online, right? We know that.
That's the
Definitely go
virtual
on.
cocktail hour. Yep.
Yeah, and be, direct messaging as well. I think just checking in, being that resource. I love
Right.
that. In terms of prepping too, one of the things I'm suggesting is that every agent has a list on their desk or wherever they are of the transactions that they can work on to have them queued up. So the minute that, we're able to resume doing business, and I know that's different for everyone all over the country, but, my goal as an agent would be to have 20 people on my desk, right, that I know I'm talking to, I'm ready, I've done my virtual listing presentation, so that boom, I'm like you said, I'm ready to dominate the market. What you don't want to have happen is all of a sudden it's June and now you're going, who can I prospect for? So I think those are just so important along your lines of prepping.
Well, when it comes to preparation too, if you take this 4-week to 8-week period off and you don't do what you need to do, it's going to take you, once we get the green light to go back to work, you're going to take that same amount of time to get ramped back up. Okay. You lost 4 months, right? You didn't lose 1 month, you lost 2 months. So you stay in momentum up to the time, the amount of time that you're going to be ready to go once that shelter lifts. If you really power down and don't do anything over the time, it's going to equal amount of time to ramp back up. So you're losing a larger time. So it's 2 really in terms of what the impact's going to be on you if you don't stay in motion.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's crucial. So we have a bunch of viewers right now watching us on Facebook Live, which is awesome. I want to let agents know if you have a question for Jim, you can go ahead and type it in the comments and Jim can answer some questions shortly if you have any questions. I know already a lot of people want you to repeat your mantra. That has come through. I don't know if you want to do that now or at the end because people felt that so powerful. So
we'll do it right at, you let me know when we start the question period and then I'll go ahead and do that.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So I think the other thing that I love, well, I love a lot of the things you do, but I love how you do social media. And you have really been embracing social media and Instagram and your morning calls and also video. I see you doing a lot of video on Facebook. So I feel like you're really embracing getting content out there. What advice would you give to agents now, kind of knowing that so many clients are home, online, on social media? What could agents implement to be better at social media right now?
Just do it. You know what, Kristine, I struggle with video. I don't love to do it. It's not something that I get up every morning saying I love to do it. But what I will tell you, and I do it, agents that are, following my content, tell me kind of one off. They say, Jim, just keep doing that. I need to hear from you. I need your leadership right now. And so you never know who's watching, right? And so when you're putting this content out, whether it be through Facebook, you got there's a private Facebook group that you're on, or on your Facebook, or on Instagram stories, wherever it might be. Video is the one way that people can kind of get to know you and pick up on your vibe, right? And everybody has these walls that they have to get over, and video was one of those things for me. And finally I said, it was really kind of, I've had professional video, but the amateur stuff that you've been seeing here lately, that was something that it took this crisis for me to say, okay, Jim, get over that wall and start doing it. And now I'm in that comfort zone where it's probably something I'll continue to do more of. But thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy that. But when it comes to social media, brand building is important to everyone's business because, like I mentioned earlier, you just don't know who is watching. And I do it primarily to learn it so I can teach it. Okay. That's really the main reason I'm building my brand right now, so I can teach it to my agents. But it's important to be out there. You never know who's going to be looking in different markets and wondering if you're the agent for them, and they follow you and they like you. They know you like you and trust you, and that's why they choose you. So that's what brand building is all about. And social media is a gift to real estate brokers.
It really is. It's changed quite a bit, from the
Yes.
back, before you had to actually tape it and have the video cassette. And it's, it's so much, even what we're doing now. I mean, this wouldn't be possible, right? 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So we have a few questions related to social media now. One question is, do you have a content plan for social media? And the other question is, what are some of the must-dos for a 45-second video? Any tips?
No, I do not have a content plan. I go on intuition. Whatever I feel like I need to talk about in that moment is what I talk about. When I've tried to do content plans, but when I get to that portion in that plan that I want, it doesn't feel right. So this is where I kind of go on what I'm hearing, what I'm feeling, and that's what I speak to in that moment. When it comes to if you're doing a 45-second video, first and foremost, be authentic and don't try to, be anything other than who you are. And content really is you recording and putting on video what is meaningful to you. And it may not be meaningful to everybody, but you don't need everybody to follow you. You just need those like-minded people that say, oh, I really like what Jim's putting out there. I'm going to follow him. And you're not trying to get everybody. You're trying to get those people that you think are, as a broker that might be really interested in using your services. You just, like I said, you just never know who's going to be watching. It could be that you work in a market, but I had an agent that was from Southern California, and she got all kinds of people that were moving from Southern California. She was with the brand, check that box. And people looked her up and selected her because she was from where they were moving from. So they thought that was a good message. So she used that a lot in her content. So, just go with what's authentic and don't try to overdo it. Just be you.
Great. No, that's great advice. Scott Glennie is asking a question. What format do you use for video?
What format do I use for video? I just use the video or the camera app on my iPhone.
Awesome.
And then I throw my, my earpods in, so I have, proper, quality sound. I honestly, you guys, I don't take it. I think sometimes the more authentic it is, the more meaningful it is. So I don't set things up. I just start talking and I speak to the camera. What I love about video is that if I don't like how it sounded or I didn't get everything out that I wanted, I can delete it and start over and do it again.
Right.
So it is very, very basic. There's really no one, format that you should use. Just do it. Don't get caught up in the preparation. Just get on and do it and post it.
Awesome advice. So we have another question. Can you tell us a positive outcome for you with this scenario?
With this scenario or the situation that we're in right now?
Yes. Yeah. From Maria. Question from Maria.
Okay, Maria. I think it gives me a lot of time to think, right? When we're super busy, we don't really take enough time to think. One little tip I would say is keep a journal with you at all times. Okay. If you have a thought or an idea, write it down, because that's the universe kind of giving you a little bit of a ping, right? So if you don't write it down, it's a fleeting thought. So I think during this period of time, I think I'm really seeing an unbelievable camaraderie that's happening within our firm and people that I know. I think this is rallying people to really focus on being good to each other. I predict that when restaurants open again, servers are going to get wonderful tips. I just see that everybody rallying around those people that were most impacted. including our first responders and people in the medical industry. So I'm just looking for the good right now, and trying to delete the negative that's out there and filter as much of that as I possibly can. So hopefully coming out of this, Maria, I will have a better approach to how to live.
Awesome. I hope you're okay. I have other questions coming in, so I'm going to stay with the Q&A. Is that okay?
Of course.
Okay, cool. So a question from Lorraine. I'm working on a luxury development and I don't want content to be off-brand or look amateurish. Thoughts?
Well, I think it depends on the type of video that you want to do, right? Like, I think that a lot of it is how you present, right? And if you're doing a luxury, tour, just present in a way that is in line with that development. The words you use, how you show up, in terms of your dress and stuff like that, how you're dressed, et cetera. But don't underestimate the power of authentic video. People see all the really well-produced stuff, and that's important. And you should have that. We have 40% in Chicago, we have 40% of the luxury new development in the city of Chicago right now in my 2 offices. And we have wonderful video that presents to that product, but we also, it can be very effective to do a tour in a very authentic way as long as you show up the right way.
Yeah, I think that's well said. Absolutely. I love that. So another question from Nick. Jim has a coaching group. What was his last message to his coaching clients? Maybe somebody with some insider information there.
The message that I have for everyone right now is essentially what you talked to me about, or the questions that you asked earlier, which was make sure that you are prepared for where the market's going to be when we come out of this. Okay. And make sure that your mindset is right. So Nick, that's what you got today has been the theme of what I have been coaching to, since we got into this. Keep it simple, stay in your routines and get something done every single day as much as you can. Have some big projects that you want to get done that you wouldn't get done if you didn't have this time. And shoot towards making sure you execute on those things.
I love that. Could you also share with everyone how they can access your social media? Maybe just remind everybody what the handles are.
Yeah. So you're going to find me on Instagram under Ask Jim Miller, and you'll see my feed there. And I'm going to I put stories up pretty consistently. And so you'll find me there. My website is askjimmiller.com, which I have other content there that you can find. That really, that website is more for me taking the ideas and the content that I have and putting it online for kind of an evergreen purpose. So it's there. I don't want to lose track of it, I guess, so to speak. But those are going to be the areas that you're going to be able to find me primarily, and love to see you on my social sites.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that with everyone. I guess kind of in closing, one of the questions I have for you is that we're all talking about, when the floodgates open and when we'll be able to go back and getting set up and preparing. What key indicators do you think we should be looking for to kind of know when that period is coming? Are there things that we should be looking for, economic indicators, or what do you think we need to kind of be looking for to know that we're getting closer to that?
Well, I think we just follow the virus and how it is, if it's peaking in your area. In Chicago, we're expecting the peak to be somewhere around April 16th. And from there, it should level off. So we're shelter in place here until April 30th. So, at that point in time, here, the thing is, you guys, this is changing every day, right? And what I'm most encouraged by is the human ingenuity that we have as a society. There are people out there right now that are working overtime to find a solution to this challenge. Not only is there humanity on the line, but there's a lot of economic impact that this has for a lot of people. So there's a lot of motivated people to get this corrected. And so I think we can all expect that the month of April you're going to have plenty of time to do all of these projects. I think towards the end of the month, you'll start seeing, kind of projections on what's going to happen in the month of May. But I wish I knew. I'd be a pretty wealthy man if I knew exactly how all this was going to play out. But just really look at the local stats on when things are supposed to peak. And we're kind of looking at May 1, May 15th is when we hope to be out there doing a little bit more than what we're doing now.
Right. So I know on a personal level, like myself, you have your significant other working at home, as I do, and children in the home as well. So I think a lot of us are going through that challenge, right? Trying to retain our professional duties and then also manage a household in the middle of being in a household. I mean, it's like nothing I've ever encountered in my life. So for sure. So what tips do you have for Ninja parents, and as in a family with a significant other, any tips?
Commit to that morning ritual. Get up before everybody else gets up and get as much done as you possibly can so that when kids start to wake up, you can spend as much time as needed with them. We both have teenagers, so it's a little different deal. I, like you, have a wife that is working from home. We joked about it yesterday, but part of my issue is that we're staying over at my home in Michigan, and that was built for us not to live. It was built more to relax. So none of my children's stuff is there that makes it feel like home. So we had to order some desks, things like that to get them comfortable so they could do the schooling from home, et cetera, because they were just everywhere through the house. I couldn't take a Zoom call or a WebEx call or whatever it might be. And so we got them kind of settled yesterday and the day before, but people kind of made fun of me because they always saw me in my car. And so what I would do is I would go out to my car to make calls in the driveway because it was the only place that I knew that I could control my environment without someone walking in or whatever. So, it's a work in progress. We're all going to get through it, ladies and gentlemen, but, just do what you got to do to get everybody comfortable. For those of you that have young children, get on it. You need to be on a schedule, right? Have that morning ritual and then know from hour to hour how you're going to handle the kids and get through the day. It is a challenging time for you right now, no doubt. But we're all kind of figuring this out as we go. But it's no joke. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of now eyeing my car as a potential secret office space. So you kind of have the wheels turning.
I didn't have a choice. I just it got almost to be kind of a joke. But yeah, there was a day I spent like 7 hours in my car because I was in back-to-back, calls, and I could do everything from my phone. So then I figured out, Kristine, that I had Wi-Fi out there. Like the Wi-Fi was strong enough. So I was taking my PC out there and working too. So you do what you got to do. It's not easy, but we're making it work.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but one of the jokes in my household when things were normal was I would get home, pull into the garage, and be finishing my call. So like the family would be like opening the door, going, I'd be out there for 30 minutes, the lights would go off, I'd still be sitting there. So I've spent a lot of time.
We recently found out too that if you sell in California, the commutes are really long. So you don't want to be late, so you leave early, and sometimes you get there early, so you eat and your car so you're on time for your showings, right? So I guess I'm not, completely out of the norm here a little bit. But hey, like I said, everybody's doing what they can right now to make things work.
Absolutely. Absolutely, we are. So, all right. So in closing, everyone wants to hear your mantra again. It was beautiful.
No.
So maybe you can take us back to how you get yourself in that high positive quadrant, what you've used and what you're using now, the words, they were just so lovely.
Well, first and foremost, gratitude is where we need to go when we're not feeling great about things, right? So I would tell myself, and again, you guys, 2008 is way different than what we're experiencing now. I just want you guys to know that we're going to be back to business, in my opinion, in not too distant future. For me, 2008 was from 2007 to 2012. It was a 5-year deal recovery for me personally. But I would say to myself, I am so happy and grateful. I'm going slow, Kristine, so people can write this down, right? I'm so happy and grateful that money, success, and introductions, we don't use the word referrals, right? We use the word introductions, flow to me in ever increasing quantities from a myriad of different sources for the betterment of all those involved. My life is perfect. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better.
Wow, I think
that I have said that thousands and thousands and thousands of times.
It's so beautiful. I mean, I think we definitely need to write that down for our site and get that out there, because that is absolutely beautiful, Jim.
Well, I will put it up when you get this online. I'll put it up on the page. But I want to also give a few book recommendations, if you don't mind. Before
That'd be
we wrap
great.
up.
That would be awesome.
As it relates to mindset, for those of you that are reading right now, I got several of the books with me, and I'll show them to you, and I'll put them up on the page once we get done. But the two that I don't have, that I've just recently read, that I absolutely love, is Relentless by Tim Grover. And he was Michael Jordan, he was Kobe Bryant's and Dwayne Wade's personal mind coach. Okay. Tremendous if you want to understand the mind of elite level producers. Okay. I just read a book by Trevor Moawad, It Takes What It Takes. And he talks about something in that book called being neutral, which is, in times like this, is so important. We want to get rid of the negativity. And just by doing that, and he also is a mindset coach for athletes, a great, great book. The book that I recommended the most in 2019 was The Code of the Extraordinary Mind by Vishen Lakhiani. Vishen has a company called Mind Valley. For those of you familiar with that, this is a game changer of a book. If you have read it and agree with me, put some comments online about it. The meditation practice that I use is introduced in here in the back, called the 6-phase meditation, and that's my meditation of choice. Maybe one of the most important books ever written was Mindset by Carol Dweck. It's an interesting read, and it takes it doesn't go down very well, but it's very, very important to read. Okay, big time. If you're interested in meditation, Stress Less, Accomplish More. If you want to know the importance of why meditation works, Emily Fletcher, she has meditation studios in New York and LA. I like that because I'm in an urban environment, and she teaches meditation for those that are in urban environments. Terrific. And last but not least, this is my favorite, most recommended book in 2018, which is High Performance Habits by Brendan Burchard. Habit number 1 is clarity, and you should be focused on that right now. If you're not 100% in line with what it is that you want to create. And so those, I know that I just gave you a lot, and I'll put them up on the page if you didn't get them, but that is your toolkit for mindset if you want to get good at that one point. And let me finish with this. Like I said earlier, Kristine, if you do not have your mindset right, you will not do all the things that you need to do to be elite. Okay? You might be good. You might actually be pretty good at what you do, but you will never, ever, ever be elite unless you understand how to manage what's between the ears. Period. End of story.
Thank you so much, Jim. I wrote down all your books, so I'm excited to get those. And I see a lot of comments. A lot of people are saying, yes, I read that, and commenting. So we have a ton of great comments from all the ninjas that are here today. So in closing, I just want to thank you so much for coming on. You are such a source of inspiration, not only to me, but all of the ninjas here at Sotheby's International Realty. And you're such a great leader and colleague. Thank you so much for making the world a better place.
Well, thank you. And everybody, everything's going to be fine. It will be fine. I promise. But take this time to prepare. Do not waste this time. That's what I want to make sure you guys got out of today. Okay?
Absolutely. Thank you again, Jim. And thank you to all the Sotheby's International Teen Ninjas for tuning in. Next Thursday, we'll be back at 1 o'clock Eastern Time and 10 a.m. Pacific Time. And our guest for next Thursday here at Ninja Live will actually be Matthew Ferrara. So we're very excited to have Matthew.
That's great.
On. Jim, you're in great company. Larry Kendall, Matthew Ferrara. So Jim Miller. So
honored.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, everyone. And thank you, Melanie. And have a great day, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Take care. Bye.